JP France had a bounce back start. Bregman and Alvarez go back to back, drop some bombs on Boston, and 66, I almost said 62 runs, 6 runs versus 2. The Astros offense showed up again. Let's talk about this. Another win by the Houston Astros.
Alvarez hits a high drive center field. Veer leans back. This game is turned upside down. There's the runner. Fly ball down the right field line. Tucker comes on. Kyle Tucker. This time they finish the job.
Hello and welcome to Locked On Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Huysman and Brett H-Town Wheelhouse Chancey.
We are Locked On Houston Astros, and we hope that you join us for a daily Locked On Astros podcast. My name is Eric Huysman. You can find me on Twitter at Eric Talks Stros. Find the show at Locked On Astros, your team every day. Brett, where can you find you at?
They can find me at H.M. Wheelhouse on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. They can find me at Stros411 on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Always positive, always Stros.
All right, guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. Whether it's on YouTube, go ahead and keep on subscribing to us. Go ahead and make us your first listen. Give us a big fat thumbs up as well and give us a like. And go ahead and make us your first listen on Apple, Odyssey, Spotify. Wherever you check out your podcast, go and check out the Locked On Astros podcast and become an everydayer, somebody that listens to our podcast every day. Win or lose, we're all Astros fans. We're all here together. Whether Dusty makes a great decision, a bad decision, okay decision, we're all here for you to just discuss it. So the Astros win this game. There's a lot of offense in this series so far. We have the back-to-back bros back. We have Bregman and Alvarez hitting back-to-back home runs. So we have also back Michael Brantley. We got to see him play, and while he was 0 for 4, he made some hard contact. We'll talk about that. JP France had a nice rebound game, and finding Cristian Javier. I think the Astros are trying to find him and trying to find out what happened to him. I mean, he was so dominant last year, but he's not the same guy this year. And is there some waiver wire gold out there? We'll talk about that. The Angels did something that people are like, wait, what did they just do? But it makes a lot of sense, especially where they are. And Altuve's influence to the Astros offense, we'll talk about what they've done, what he's done, what the Astros have done since he's returned back to the lineup on this edition of the Locked On Astros podcast.
Yeah, so this game got started out, with the bang. Literally 2 home runs, back-to-back solo shots, like you mentioned. Let's make another bobblehead. Why not? But Bregman and Alvarez both went 3 for 5. Alvarez, I think it was 10 for his last 12 at bats. I believe that he had gotten on base successfully. He had gone 6 for 6 prior to that. As Eric looks for his back-to-back bobbleheads, he can't resist looking for bobbleheads while I'm talking about something. It's great. But seriously, what I love about this team, Eric, is we have 5 hitters that have an OPS over 800. And
right
at the top of the lineup, Altuve boasts a 926, Bregman 812, Alvarez 973, Tucker 894, Yanner Diaz at 829. I mean, this team's full of guys that can hit, and this team has really started to look better since they had that team meeting. I know they had a couple stinkers after that, but overall, this team's been performing well. I'm going to say this. If the Astros don't get Adam Duvall in the offseason, I'm just going to ask him why. You got to get that guy on your team because you can't have him playing against you.
Yeah, I know, but he's a good fella. He's a good hitter sometimes. But yeah, so this guy is a pretty good hitter at times. So Alex Bregman, he had a home run in the first inning. It was crushed. It went into the green monster, and it was 105 exit velocity. It had expected batting average of 940. It would have been a home run in 27 out of 30 ballparks. That's what's so weird about that place. I mean, it was crushed, but how would it not be a home run in other ballparks? But and then you had one of the shortest home runs of this guy's career. It was 341 feet. It was 109.5 exit velocity.
Laser.
Yeah, it was a laser, and it was listen to this. Wait, I think I'm actually looking at the wrong one, but where's the home run? So it was 334 feet, actually. It would have been a home run in 2 out of 30 ballparks. Yankee
What's the
Stadium
other?
would be Yankee
Oh,
Stadium.
Yankee Stadium, because it's a little league ballpark. We all know
Yeah.
that.
So, but it went out of there in 3.3 seconds. And so it was a blast. And so, I mean, it was pesky. It's a pesky corner. That's why I kind of put that in the thumbnail today. The Astros win with the pesky slide. I will talk about the slide in a little bit, but it's amazing how the little nuances of a ballpark sometimes helps you win. And that's what happened in this game.
Yeah, definitely. Yesterday when we were discussing Altuve's cycle, his home run, Eric, reminded me of Mark McGwire home runs in the home run derby contest. I don't know if you remember that iconic home run derby with him, I believe King Griffey Jr., several other just massive power hitters, and that was the game when they wheeled out Ted Williams out to the middle of the field. All the players were shaking his hand. But that's the first thing I thought when Altuve hit that ball. I was like, oh my gosh, that reminded me of a Mark McGwire home run derby home run. And the reason why it is only a home run in a couple parks is because that fence is so close. Now, I've never had the experience of going to Fenway Park. I'm hoping someday. No, Fenway Park. Stop with the Boston accent. It's Park. Just say Park, dude. You need to work on that Boston accent.
Okay.
I don't want any Southies coming after me. But look, man, at the end of the day, this team just basically did what they needed to do. JP France had to have a rebound start, and he did. But you love to see, even when they're 331-foot home runs or whatever, you love to see them getting on base. And, look, Brantley looked good. Brantley's return was, highly anticipated. And I joked on the show last night because per Dusty, he's like, I know he's ready, but I may give him an extra day, maybe 2 extra days. And I'm like, why do you do that? Like, why do you say it that way? Kind of like Stanley says on The Office to Michael, like, why word it the way you word it? And sometimes I think Dusty's playing with our emotions. I think he knows exactly what he's doing, and he likes the segment Thoughts by Dusty. So that's probably why he's feeding us that stuff.
I think he definitely listens to the show, and he's like,
I know he does.
I want to say random crap that's going to make the Thoughts by Dusty segment. So definitely something that he's trying to do there. So Baker did say that Brantley will play left field today, which he did. And he also said that he would DH tomorrow. Abreu will be off, and Singleton will start at first base. So we've seen Abreu kind of get hot recently because if you're going to be scoring all the runs the Astros have recently, you're going to have some consistent offense from everybody. Michael Brantley had a welcome back balloon at his locker. So that was cool. This was his first game that he's played since June 26th of 2022. And so this is it's great to see him back out there. Yes, the guy who's probably going to lose some playing time is Yainer Diaz. We did see him as a catcher. And so this is what Baker said. It's going to take away some playing time from the other guys, but they're not Michael Brantley. I can play Jordan in left field tomorrow, which he played an excellent left field Monday night prior to the day off on defense. It's just got to plan to take care of both of them, and hopefully they'll take care of us. But in this game, Michael Brantley was 0 for 4, but he did square up the ball pretty well, especially that first one. It just unfortunately didn't go anywhere. But this was the exit velocities in the game: 102.2, 99.1, 97.6, and 104.1. So he's making good contact. Unfortunately, it didn't go where he wanted to go. But with more time and just getting used to the big league pitching again, I think we'll see Uncle Mike that we expect to see. So, and so we'll see what happens. And he said, Baker went on to say he worked hard to get back to this point. We still have to watch him and keep an eye on him and watch his movements. Hopefully he can play all the way through the season and to the postseason. So Dusty Baker has not given up. So you guys cannot give up on your Houston Astros.
Well, and I don't think anybody's given up. I think some words I shared the other day on online, you would have thought that I just made the Astros out to be the worst team ever in the history of baseball. But from what you're telling me, what Dusty's alluding to on the next lineup, it sounds like Diaz is not going to be in there. which I do not like, because Diaz, I'm sorry, John Singleton, you've earned your spot, but right now the way Diaz is hitting, it's really hard to keep him out of the lineup. I just don't see why. If Singleton was the opposite, and we'll get to your LinkedIn jobs here thing, but if Singleton was hot and Diaz was the guy that wasn't the hot bat, I would flip that script. But let me tell you something. There is a thing I want you to pay attention to, is the LinkedIn sales solution. Okay. Are you struggling to close deals? Cold outreach is wasting the time of both you, the buyer, and seller at every stage. Well, especially when sellers are using shallow and outdated data. Your organization can overcome these challenges with technology that translate comprehensive, high quality buyer data into real-time insights. Just like when you have someone like Yordan Alvarez at the plate. These deeper insights empower sales reps and teams to adopt the habits of top performers, which leads to better outcomes like more pipeline, higher win rates, and larger deals. We call this deep sales, and we built the first deep sales platform with the next generation of LinkedIn Sales Navigator. It's basically like a stacked Astros lineup. So right now, you can try LinkedIn Sales, and this lineup includes Yainer Diaz. Look up the LinkedIn Sales Navigator and get a 60-day free trial at linkedin.com/lockedon. That's linkedin.com/lockedon for a 60-day free trial. Let LinkedIn Sales Navigator help you sell like a superstar today. Just go to linkedin.com/lockedon and get started. The Astros do play the Red Sox again on Wednesday, 3:10 p.m. Central Standard Time. Catch every pitch of the Astros hometown broadcast with SiriusXM on the SXM app. Search Astros.
Yeah, just getting Michael Brantley back to the lineup is going to be a big lift, not just to the batting order, I guess, but just what he can offer as a leader. I mean, yes, he's been in dugout. Yes, he's not the type of guy that is going to stay home and be like, oh yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just recover at home. He's going to, the type of guy, if he's able, he's going to be in the clubhouse as much as possible. We saw him on his off days. He came to just kind of be with the Astros. So I think he's a big time leader. I don't think he's going to get to as many at bats as he needed to get his money, but at the same time, I think it's great to see him back. And I think Dusty Baker is going to get to Yainer Diaz in as many games as we can. Before we get to France, let's talk about Yainer Diaz. Not only we'll talk about the slide, but this dude has been swinging at every pitch this year. He hasn't walked a lot, but in the past, like X amount of games, he's walked 3 times. He's all the way up to 10 walks or something for the year.
Yeah.
So he is showing some patience. He's showing that he can do, he's not just a wild swinger. He's somebody out there that can take some pitches as well. And we saw him that he can run that on that Mauricio Dubon double. He ran first to home and basically slid underneath the tag at home plate. And he should have been out. Even the I forgot if it was Callis or if it was Blummer. They said, oh, he's out. But they were like, wait, he's actually safe because he went underneath the tag.
That was great. I mean, Yainer Diaz is not only a force behind the plate, not only a force at the plate, but he's a force on the bases because he's young, he's fast, he's athletic, all the reasons you lined out. And Eric, that's all the reason why he should be at first base. That's why he should be in this lineup every day. We know he's going to catch JP. We know he's going to catch Hunter Brown. We need him to catch other pitchers as well. I would like to see him catch not Cristian Javier. I'd like to see him catch Framber Valdez. Framber Valdez is who's going on the mound tomorrow for the Astros. Because what happens if you get in a situation where you have to catch Diaz in a playoff situation and you can't use Maldonado? What happens if Maldonado goes down with an injury? In Diaz's first experience catching a pitcher in the playoffs is in the playoffs. I think that is doing the team a disservice. I think that's doing the pitcher and the catcher a disservice. And to me, there is time to make that happen. And Diaz doesn't give you a disadvantage being the catcher for your frontline pitchers. And he's just proven tonight. I mean, this kid is really, really doing well. Like you said, I mean, he's got 4 walks in August. He had 4 walks in August. He had 4 walks in July. Before that, he only had 2 total. So he is not free swinging as much. dude, when he connects, he absolutely blisters the ball. I mean, he punishes the ball, and there's really I just can't find a logical baseball reason why you would keep Yainer Diaz on the bench and put someone like Singleton or Myers or Dubon or just anybody. Just name an Astro that isn't one of your mainline starters. Diaz should be out there. And you know what? If you can't get Diaz at first, can't get Diaz at DH, you know what? Tell Maldi to coach him from the dugout to help Framber Valdez, to talk to Framber in between innings and keep him in sync. And I think that's what needs to happen eventually. Because
I'm going to be Mr. Negative here, and I'm going to say, well, he did miss that foul pop up there. So I think if he was an everyday catcher, I think that he would have been.
Now you're just trolling. This is what we call trolling on Twitter
or tongue in cheek type thing.
Yeah, I know you are. No, but I mean, Eric, and you and I have been calling for more time for Diaz for a long time. But to me, it's not just the value of him being behind the plate. Like, he's got to be in this lineup. He gives you more offense. He gives you more of a chance. He gives you more of an opportunity. Maybe he's not great against left-handed pitchers. Okay, I'll give you that. But look, I love this kid in the lineup. The slide was amazing. Oh, by the way, Tucker stole a base. It was negated by a really bad review.
Oh, yeah, that was terrible.
His hand was clearly on the base. He clearly stole. So if he gets to 29 stolen bases and 30 home runs, we know he's really a 30-30 guy.
Yes. So unfortunately, I mean, I just don't think there was enough evidence to overrule it. I think that's what it was. So, I mean, yeah, it did look like he did make the base. He did get there in time, but I just don't think there's clear evidence enough to overturn it.
From that one camera angle, from the one camera angle, his hand clearly hit the base, and then the glove hit his arm. I mean, it was, you know what I'm saying?
Well, there had to be some reason, but unfortunately, in that situation, Dusty Baker could not argue. Once you challenge it, and they say it stands.
See, I would get rung up so fast, dude. I got thrown out of a Little League game one time. Okay,
right.
I would get rung up so fast in the major leagues. That's not even funny. I probably wouldn't last like a week in the major leagues. I would get thrown out every game.
Well, JP France, he didn't last very long. Speaking of not lasting very long, in his last game versus Red Sox, he gave up 10 runs in 2 2/3 innings, but he lasted 5 2/3 innings, gave up 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts, 93 pitches. I think that they're making a little bit of some hard contact earlier in the game, but I think that he settled down. He pitched the way he wanted to. And I think that it was a good rebound start. And you have to imagine that he probably had a lot of, maybe he couldn't sleep very well last night, probably some nerves coming into this after his worst major league start. But that just shows what type of bulldog he is. He went out there and just pitched his heart out, and the Astros got the runs for him. And you had the 2 early runs, and then they added the later runs. But I love what the Astros are doing recently. They're scoring runs often. Do they always score runs? No. There's that game that Friday where they only scored 1 run, and then Ryan Presley let the game get away from them. But for the most part, they have been scoring runs. And so,
right. And I'm sorry, go ahead. Now,
I was just going to say that I'm sure you talked about it in yesterday's show, but Cristian Javier has been going the opposite direction. It seems like while he's not bending, he's not breaking, he's not really showing any improvement. And this is what Dusty Baker said before today's on the Sports Talk 790 on Matt Thomas show. He said that he and the pitching coaches are still trying to figure out why Cristian Javier has been struggling this year. And so I think we all are. He just doesn't have the same stuff that we've seen in the past. He just doesn't have the same determination. And it just seems like something's missing. And the Astros need to figure it out.
I think it's a pitch clock. I think the pitch clock has got him rattled. It's got to be, because he looks unsettled. He doesn't look comfortable. The second he stepped on the mound last night, he didn't look comfortable. Someone DM'd me yesterday and asked me, because they had heard that Josh Miller had messed with his arm slot and the way he holds the baseball, and he wonders if that's where his velocity's gone. And I said, I don't know. I'm not going to accuse Josh Miller of changing anything. I haven't seen that report. Maybe you've read something, but someone had reached out to me and asked me, and we addressed that. The bottom line is this: Cristian Javier is, for whatever reason, a shell of his former self. He is not the preseason Cy Young favorite that he was going into the season. I mean, people didn't even talk about Valdez. They were talking about Javier. I just don't think he's adjusted well to the pitch clock. I mean, he seems rushed. He seems unsettled. He seems like he's not satisfied with what he's doing, right? Like JP France, his X factor this year is the ability to just put away the mistakes and keep dealing and keep pitching. And even when he was getting shelled, he never looked rattled. Okay. Some guys just have more mental fortitude than others. And Javier does need to find it, because if I'm making my playoff lineup today, my playoff roster today, he is not a starter for me. I don't care what he's done in the past World Series. We're talking, what have you done for me lately? But JP France, I called it today on the show when I was talking to RP3 in Louisiana. I said, he's going to have a bounce back. They are going to dive into the film. They're going to see what adjustments need to be making. Like you mentioned, he made those adjustments. And that's a pro's pro. That's a guy that I want in my top 4 rotation when I go into the playoffs, because I know I can depend on him. I also have Jose Altuve, who can go 4 innings and crush it if I need him in long relief. So the Astros, guys, things are shaping up really nicely. And if things go the way they're going, or we're talking, then there could be a 3-way tie. If you're listening on Wednesday, there could be a 3-way tie for the AL West division lead, and it's not done yet. And the last 14 games of the season are going to be absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it's going to be fun, and definitely something that if you want to go watch some games, definitely go check out Hooters. They're all over the city, so go check out Hooters. It's the best place to watch baseball. And Brett, tell them a little bit about Hooters.
Yeah, definitely. Hooters is the place to get wings, great grub, great brew, and hang out with friends and the world famous Hooters girls. They have anything from teriyaki to super hot wings. I mean, they've got great desserts. They have great burgers. So if you're going there listening on a Wednesday, it's buy one, get one boneless wings. Thursday, it's $19.99 wings and Big Daddy bundle. And Friday is $19.83 crab legs. When you go to Hooters, tell them you listen to Locked On Astros, and tell them the Locked On Astros guys sent you, and you'll get a free basket of pickles. That's correct. You'll do that. And just mark your calendars right now, because September 9th, we will be at the Hooters in Baytown doing a live show. Before the game, we'll have some giveaways, Hooters merchandise, Hooters gift cards, some Astros tickets. It will be fun. And heck, you can even bring the kids and hang out with us. And the hoot about Hooters is that they have happy hour Monday through Friday, 2 to 7 p.m., 10 p.m. to close. And if you're near NASA, Rosie has told us that on September 7th, every Thursday night from that point on, after Thursday Night Football, karaoke, happy hour till close. So go check it out. Great grub, great brews. Go cheer the Astros to another victory, and tell them the Locked On Astros guys sent you. And the Astros do play the Red Sox on Wednesday at 3:10 p.m. Central Standard Time. Catch every pitch of the Astros hometown broadcast with SiriusXM on the SXM app. Search Astros. Eric, real quick before you go into the next point, I just want to ask you, because I was on the show last night. I know you saw Jose Altuve's cycle. We were kind of joking about how JP France said, but he still doesn't have a 5-hit game. And I talked about how he had 6 at bats.
Pena.
Oh, I'm sorry, Pena. What did I say?
JP France.
Oh, sorry. Now, so Jeremy Pena said, well, I still have like a 5-hit game, So I love seeing the interaction between the young Jeremy Pena and the leader of the team, Jose Altuve. I mean, how great was that to see Jose Altuve get that cycle last night?
Yeah, I did talk about that in my show too, that Jeremy said that. And then it was awesome that Altuve got a chance to not just respond with words, but in action. Okay, kid, you got your 5-hit game. Great. Let me raise a 5-hit game with a cycle that hasn't happened with the Houston Astros in 10 years since Brandon Barnes.
Right.
And Brandon Barnes reached out and said that it's pretty special. I couldn't be more happy for him and his family and the whole situation, because he deserves it. So the Astros, the last 3 games, this was before tonight, they scored 39 runs. So they scored 6 runs. So that's 46 runs. They've had 57 hits, so add 9 from tonight. That would be 56 hits. 66 hits.
Wow.
So they've been scoring, and they had 2 home runs right tonight. So that's 10 home runs. So they've been getting some offense, and the Astros offense is getting where we need it to be. The pitching, Cristian Javier, is a little bit sus right now, but and so if you want something that's sus, looking at what the Angels are doing, the Angels they literally were like, oh, let's trade for all these players at the trade deadline. Oh,
and then
we suck again. And then they go ahead and, okay, here's the pink slip. Here's the pink slip. Here's the pink slip. Here's the pink slip.
Oh,
And
dude, they unloaded.
Yeah. So let me list this, the list of players that they dropped: Lucas Giolito, Matt Moore, Ronaldo Lopez, Randall Giritic, Hunter Renfroe. This is a guy they, I think, signed or traded for this offseason.
Yeah.
And Dominic Leone. And this is 6 players.
So this is 6 players. You also had the Yankees release Harrison Bader. And these are salary dumps. And this is probably going to trigger the league to change the trade deadline, because you have 20 teams pretty much in the hunt for the playoffs. And these other teams that aren't, they're like, look, we can't trade them. We don't have the ability to trade them. So we're not going to carry their salary the rest of the year. So we're going to dump their salary. But this is how you get the players. It goes in reverse order. So the team with the worst record gets the first choice. I would love the Astros to go out and get Lopez and Moore. I mean, if Dusty's so insistent on a left-handed reliever, one of those guys fits that bill right there. I kind of joked about Lucas Giolito, but I think he'll get swooped up before the Astros have a chance to try to claim someone like him. But what an embarrassing amount of riches out there. Really, when I saw that, I was like, wait, are they going to sell the Angels? Like, are they quitting? Like, are they going to have anybody left to play that actual game? Are they going to have to field 7 players?
They're going to bring minor leaguers. That's what they're going to do.
But no, I know, but I'm just saying, I instantly remembered when you show up to Little League game and you have 10 players on your team and 3 don't show up, you have 7 and you have to have 8 to play. So what do? You borrow a player from the other team. So you see the Angels out there, and all of a sudden there's a Blue Jay in their outfield. And then the Blue Jay coach is like, hey, make sure you catch every ball to you, you know?
They do that sometimes in like spring training, I think. So
yeah.
Well, they did that in the World Baseball Classic. I remember, like, they had Astros pitcher pitching for like Team Venezuela or whatever team we were playing that time. So but going back, yes, there's other players that were also put on waivers. Harrison Bader with the Yankees, also Josh Donaldson, Carlos Carrasco with the Mets, Mike Clevenger, if you want him, with the White Sox, Jose Cisnero with the Tigers. So there are some names out there that are interesting. So there are a lot of teams that are ahead of the Astros. So the Astros right now are 23, according to Fox. The teams ahead of them are the Phillies, the Blue Jays, the Cubs, the Twins, the Diamondbacks, the Red Sox, the Giants, and the Reds and the Marlins. Okay. So I don't
like and the Marlins and the
Yankees, and I could keep on going. Oh, the Angels. Maybe the Angels will put a claim.
Yeah, the Angels will reclaim them. Oh, geez. Like, who knows? Like, I'm sorry. They really missed a golden opportunity. They really missed a golden opportunity to get some really good prospects and players for Shohei Ohtani. Now you're looking at Shohei Ohtani with a torn UCL. He's still hitting the ball. Now questions are floating around the media, Eric. Is this guy going to just be a hitter? Is he going to be relegated to not pitch anymore because of the UCL? He's already had Tommy John.
Yeah.
Wow, what a disaster for the Angels. I mean, Artie Moreno, probably the second worst owner. I think the worst owner, obviously, we all would have a consensus on the Oakland A's because we feel for their fan base. But good Lord, Artie Moreno really, man, he really punted the ball in this one.
So what they're trying to do is they are trying to get underneath the luxury tax threshold because they are a repeat offender, so they'll have to pay a double the penalty.
Like
So that's something that they would have to do. So you said Lucas Giolito. I think that would be an interesting name. But Matt Moore is somebody I think the Astros could use. The Astros don't seem to have a reliable lefty. So if you go ahead and he's 34, he's got a 3-1 record with a 2.30 ERA, he has 47 strikeouts and 43 innings pitched. This is a guy that's he's not a throwaway. He's literally a guy with having great season. And then if you look at Lucas Giolito, he's 7-11, 4.45 ERA. He has 165 strikeouts and 153 innings pitched, 1.28 WHIP. He's not the best pitcher out there, but you can literally claim him for nothing and then take on the rest of the salary, ergo taking it away from the Angels.
Yeah, I really wanted him at the trade deadline because I didn't think that they were going to get rid of their big pitchers, Dylan Cease and all that stuff. But what an opportunity. If one of these guys, left-handed reliever, falls to the Astros, why the heck not would you bring someone in? Because that's been one of the things where you don't know where they're going to be. Look, great series so far, Eric. This is a bounce back. I mean, they got swept by Seattle and like the sky was literally falling in Houston. Right. And we've gone from they'll never make the playoffs. They won't even make the playoffs this year too. Sorry, folks. Sorry to disappoint y'all, but they are going to make the playoffs. Where they land, we won't know until late September.
Yes. Reynaldo Lopez, 2-7 with a 3.86 ERA, 71 strikeouts and 53 2/3 innings pitched.
I love Lopez. I think
these are some guys that will help playoff contenders. And
so other teams you don't need them. Yeah,
it's
almost, other teams you don't.
Yeah, it's almost like you know how sometimes when you play Monopoly, you kind of make trades that are uneven for your friends or somebody that you want to help.
I never did that, Eric.
Well, but that's
I guess I never played Monopoly with you.
No, but I think this is kind of it seems weird, but we'll see what happens. All these guys will be going to some other homes, but since Jose Altuve has come back from the IL since on August 6th, the Astros are averaging 6.7 runs per game. Wow. They fell a little short today. Shame on you, Jose Altuve. Only 6 runs, but
if you bet the over,
yeah.
Oops.
So during that time, they have scored 17 runs, 13 runs, 12 runs, 11 runs, and 11 runs. So that just shows like before then, it was like maybe averaging like 4.7 or something like that. So I don't have that number right in front of me, but
it was 4.7, Eric, because I remember distinctly it was 4.7 before. They've literally gained 2 runs per game. And look, you highlighted it earlier. Michael Brantley may have gone over 4, but he hit the ball really hard. This guy's coming off of shoulder surgery. This guy's coming off of, he gets ramped up and then he gets shut down. And he looked calm at the plate. I love seeing the little timing thing he does where he taps the bat on his shoulder. I love that. I'm like, this is so cool to have him back in this lineup. Someone mentioned earlier, it would have been really cool to have Chaz in the lineup tonight, but he's cooled off a little bit, but we hope he finds his stroke.
Bond made a great catch, and that was a great hit by him too. So
yeah, definitely.
So that's all we got for this edition of the Locked On Astros podcast. Make sure you go and check out tomorrow's game. It's going to be on SiriusXM. So if you can't watch, go and check out every pitch on SiriusXM. Just go ahead and download the SXM app and search Astros. My name is Eric Huysman. You can find me on Twitter at Eric Talk Astros. You can find Be Someone right there at H-Town Wheelhouse. And we are the Locked On Astros podcast. And we'll be back tomorrow, hopefully talking about another Astros victory, because why not? Because we love our Astros and hopefully we love us people. So we'll see you tomorrow.
That's right. Thank you, Patch Collection, for the hat.